Good Friday morning, Central Georgia. You're taking a live look over I-75 north and southbound in beautiful Houston County right now. The time is now 6:30 a.m. here on this February the 3rd. Thank you so much for starting your morning with us. I'm Wanye Reese. Before you head out the door, you're definitely going to want to grab that rain jacket and umbrella because, Alex, it seems like the rain is still coming down.
It is, and heavy at times across parts of the area of the loop here over the past hour or so. You can see from southern Hancock, Washington, over towards Wilkinson, Twiggs, Houston County, getting some of the reds in there, meaning a heavier rainfall, and then down into Macon County. All of that continuing to slide to the east, but at the same time, here's the back edge of the rainfall. There's Jasper, Monroe, over towards Upson County. All of that continuing to slide east as well. So as we roll through the morning hours, we're going to be watching the rain clear central Georgia. But if you're in Dublin, you still have the heaviest part to go through before too long. Also down into Telfair, Wheeler, Montgomery counties, just starting to get the rain to pick back up once again. Today, temperatures are going to not be able to rise as quickly as they usually do. 40s for the next several hours thanks to that northerly wind, into the 50s later on this afternoon, eventually to a high right around 56. The rain will be gone by the noon hour, though, with sunrise coming your way right around 7:28. That is going to make way for a great weekend beginning this afternoon with cool sunshine across the area and then temperatures closer to February's averages. We'll talk much more about it coming up here in just a moment.
Thank you, Alex. We'll talk to you soon. Right now, the search for a Hawkinsville man who shot his neighbor inside his home continues. Fred Yates with the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office says the victim is in critical condition and the suspect is still on the run. Yates says it happened Wednesday afternoon at a home on Commerce Street. He says 24-year-old James Spears shot his 68-year-old neighbor. Yates says the two men did know each other. Charles Hammonds is the victim's neighbor, and he says that he can't understand why someone would want to hurt his neighbor.
Mr. Jimmy's so nice and friendly to everybody that I really didn't know why anybody would even want to shoot him, you know. So I really don't, because Hawkinsville is a nice neighborhood and you don't hardly ever hear that. The guy's still on the run, but I got confidence somebody's going to catch him or turn him in.
Yates says this is not the first time Spears has been in trouble with the law. He says he has outstanding warrants in both Bleckley and Bibb County. This morning, the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office is looking for more information after an 18-year-old was shot and killed during a home invasion. Major Brad King says that it happened yesterday morning at a home on Black Springs Road. The GBI says Saeed Javier was taken to the hospital and died there. They say a group traveled to Javier's home. One person went inside and started shooting. One teen is in custody and the GBI plans more arrests. Anybody with information on the case should reach out to the Baldwin Sheriff's Office at 478-445-5102. That number again for you, it's 478-445-5102. 6:33, Georgia is now one of 10 states considering a bill aimed at addressing the nationwide teaching shortage. The Interstate Teacher Mobility Compact would validate teaching licenses across state lines, so teachers don't have to get a new license if they move to a new state for a job. The bill was created in part by the Department of Defense, which was looking to help military families. Debbie Faulkner is a 5th grade teacher at Peach County's K Road Elementary School. She says this bill could be a positive move. She grew up a military brat and has traveled all over the world.
All of those experiences come into my classroom teaching, and especially with social studies, and we'll hit a new unit and they're like, do you know something about that? What are your stories? Because you bring it into your teaching. And so I think it makes us more well-rounded.
For the bill to take effect, 10 states must pass it and join the compact. Meanwhile, Peach County Schools is looking to bring on more staff. They're holding a job fair tomorrow from 9 a.m. to noon at Peach County High School. They're hiring for all positions in K through 12, as well as paraprofessionals and school nurses for special education. Governor Brian Kemp is also working to reduce the teacher shortage. He says he wants to include a $2,000 pay raise for Georgia's teachers in the state's fiscal year 2024 budget. He delivered $5,000 pay raises to teachers during his first term in office. He's also proposing certification grants for paraprofessionals to ensure their experience can be transferred to course credit to become teachers. Well, new tax breaks in the works for Georgians. The State House approved money for a $1 billion property tax break and a $1 billion income tax break. It's part of a plan to amend this year's budget to spend another $2.4 billion in projected revenue. The House voted 170-1 to approve House Bill 18. Now it heads to the Senate for more debate. The House spending plan also includes money to help with employee health insurance premiums and to give retired state employees a one-time $250 bonus payment. 6:35, a Cochrane woman says that she's upset because she's without utilities. This is after the city received a community home improvement grant to renovate her home. Betty Love was one of 6 people from Cochrane selected for the grant. The city spent more than $45,000 on renovations to her home, but Love and her daughter say contractors left the home without heat, air, hot water, and made cosmetic repairs over long-term damage. They also claim the home was not inspected. Love's daughter, Sandra Watkins, says that they're disappointed.
You got these senior citizens need help getting their homes done. And you got this certain person that y'all chose to do all this work. And he's just going in and doing botch work. And we're supposed to just accept it.
After moving back into the home in September, Love finally got hot water 2 weeks ago. The contractor, Jay Oakford, tells us that he did what he was contracted to do and says that Love wanted work completed that was not in the contract or included in the budget. Trash troubles were once a norm here in Macon, right? But right now we're seeing less and less of those problems. Last January, the county hired a new contractor, Ryland Environmental, in order to take over. Managing partner James Lanier says their strategy focuses on people and being involved in the community as much as possible. When the county made the switch, Ryland had to shore up routes and make up for piles of trash that was left behind. Lanier says it led to more problems as Ryland tried to get trash pickup back on track.
Macon bid was being billed for 46,000 customers. I felt like there was a lot more than that. And so by the time we did our calculations, did our count, got everything delivered, which was about probably well into February before we had delivered 52,000 residential carts on top of the recycle carts.
Lanier says with 6,000 more customers than initially planned, they had to change routes and they had to hire some more people. If you have a trash concern, you can put in a C-Click Fix request online. Lanier says C-Click Fix is the central place to report concerns, but there are a couple different teams that handle them. If you need a trash can or recycling can, the county will go ahead and handle that delivery. If you have a concern about service, it goes straight to Ryland. Lanier says if you have a service concern and it isn't resolved in a day or two, call the office and he will go ahead and get it handled. It's been 11 years since a movie was filmed at a bar in Macon. How the presence of a movie star still impacts the bar today is coming up next. Plus, today's the day to honor our School of the Week. Coming up, we show you how they're using small groups to make an incredible difference. The time is now 6:38. Alex, when's that rain going to start tapering off?
Yeah, out there in Twiggs County, hopefully here fairly soon. Also here in Macon, Bibb, and Houston. Looking live over downtown, still have the steady rainfall. A current temperature of 46 with this west-northwest wind continuing at about 7 miles an hour. But out in Jeffersonville, 48, 45 in Warner Robins, 46 in Macon, 45 in Byron, Fort Valley, 44. Waking up in southern Houston County down to 42 now in Monticello. So this northerly wind is going to continue to drop our temperatures. We are some 10 to 12 degrees cooler than we were 38 minutes after 6 yesterday morning here in central Georgia. But here's where the heaviest rainfall is right now, from Washington County back through Wilkinson, Twiggs, now getting into Bleckley and parts of Lawrence County, down into Houston County. All of this continuing to slide to the east, but the back edge of the rainfall also sliding to the east. So Jasper County almost completely dry now. Back edge of the rainfall should be coming through Macon, Crawford County here in the next little bit. And then we're going to continue to watch that here through the morning hours and make its way through all of central Georgia as this cold front continues to sag down to the south, and that will keep us quiet through the remainder of the day today. So here we go. There's future view. There's the back edge coming through right around 8 by the noon hour. Still cool, still windy outside, talking about wind gusts upwards of 15, 20 miles an hour at times. Not quite wind advisory criteria, but a steady wind across the day today. Temperatures in the 50s, 51 in Macon at that hour, topping off only right around 56 or so. Into the night tonight, clear, plenty of sun to go around, but that will allow our temperatures to fall down to near the freezing mark by the time we're waking up Saturday morning. I know that's showing 32 in Macon, but I actually put 30 because this model typically keeps us a few degrees warmer than we usually get during the overnight hours. There we go into Saturday afternoon, perfectly clear until we get to Sunday morning. Just some cloud cover building in. No significant rain concern. I do have about a 10% chance of rain on Sunday, but that is a 90% chance of staying dry, and that sets the stage for a dry start to next work and school week across central Georgia. Our next real rain chance doesn't really arrive until Wednesday, Thursday. Across the area, you can see the Euros trying to pull in some rain, but the GFS is not, so details to iron out there. Meanwhile, at the bus stop this morning, we do have the showers out there. Temperatures in the 40s, 51 for the recess hour, but it will be dry. And when we head home from work and school, talking about cool conditions, a high temperature of only 56 with that north-northwest wind continuing. Sunrise at about 7:28. For the weekend, I've got 55 for Saturday, 60 on Sunday, a 10% chance of rain on Sunday. Again, that is a 90% chance of staying dry. So if you have outdoor plans, arguably Sunday is the better day because it's going to be just a few degrees warmer out there across central Georgia. Then into next week, this warming trend continuing. 66 for Monday, 69 on Tuesday, 72 back in the picture for Wednesday and Thursday. Average high for this time of year is 60, 61, so we'll be running about 10 degrees above average by the middle of next week.